Those supplies will help with this quest. Let's be sure to use them.
Monster Hunter Wilds is a live service game, more or less. But given those words, live service game, words that send trepidation through the hearts of many gamers these days, but I think that the Monster Hunter team get it a lot closer to right than almost anybody else. We tend not to think about the Monster Hunter games as live service games because it generally avoids the soul-deadening crap that 99% of other live service games do, and frankly those of us with a personal passion and even emotional attachment to the series of Monster Hunter really don't like talking about Monster Hunter as a live service game because of the cancer most live service games tend to represent and be infested by. But ever since Monster Hunter World's launch in particular, now 7 years ago if you can believe it, its expansion Iceborne, then Monster Hunter Rise and its expansion Sunbreak are all video games that, by definition, are in fact live service games. They are updated regularly with new content, events and features on a pretty regular schedule. They have published roadmaps intended to make the player base anticipate the new content and talk about it and hype it up. And all of it designed around the idea of keeping the player base as large and habitually engaged for as long as possible, as frequently as possible, all with the linked intent to drive the purchase of paid DLC items. Because, I don't know about you, but it's the games that I spend most time with that I find easiest to self-justify spending extra money on DLC crap like cosmetics for a game I have already paid for once. Hello again, I am Blunty, and well, as an old schooler gamer, I can and will lament the days where games actually included all their content for the single price of purchase. I also think, if we're going to be realists about this and not just shake our fist at clouds, we all have to admit that so-called microtransactions and DLC are not going away, ever. Games are a business. Most publishers answer to shareholders, and shareholders don't care about the games. They only care about how much money these products can generate by using every sleazy trick to psychologically exploit us, the consumer, all preferably without crossing a line where we all, the consumers, just get fed up with being treated like wallets instead of people and walk away from any given game or publisher forever. So the best we can hope for is MTX and DLC that at least treat us with a little human dignity, just a small amount. And yeah, I think Capcom aren't doing too bad on that, at least with Monster Hunter. Some of their other titles, ew, but at least with Monster Hunter, they're walking the line in a fairly decent way, in my opinion. Although they have, it has to be said, been getting worse. I am worried that they'll use Wilds to take another little step forward to see just how much they can get away with, because they did a thing with Rise that really pissed off a lot of us. But before we get to that, Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, all on their own, have no less than 230 individual DLC items, commonly priced from a couple of bucks to $15 or so, although some, it has to be said, are free. Most are not. Almost all of them are cosmetics, or packs of cosmetics, featuring emotes and gestures and photo mode poses, chat stickers, NPC costumes, character customization vouchers, hairstyles, makeup, weapon pendants, player room decorations, and music tracks for one of those player room decorations, a little jukebox thing. Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak have over 250 DLC items along the same vein, but also including now player character voice packs, and rather loudly controversially, for the first time, layered weapon sets, things that used to be completely and entirely included in the base game for zero additional cost. Also now, Palamute and Palico layered armor sets and in-game music packs, not just little stuff for the jukebox, but actual in-game music packs. And pricing went up with most of Rise's DLC tat. It's not super hostile stuff just yet, but the layered armor and weapons was a toe over the line for many players, an overstep that the player base reacted loudly and very aggressively against, which didn't seem to stop people from buying them, by the way. I saw them extremely frequently in multiplayer, and yes, I even picked up a couple myself. But again, with hundreds, or in my case thousands of hours in a single game, it's easier for even us greybeards to justify those purchases. Oh well, we say to ourselves, the developer deserves some extra money for all of this fun I'm having for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. Except, of course, the reality is the actual people who make the game and the content that we're buying, the people who design this stuff, who produce this stuff, who execute the game itself, don't get any extra money that we're spending on it. It doesn't go to the pockets of the talented people who actually make the game fun. It goes into the pockets of the dickheads in suits who don't even play games, much less know how to make them. So it's all horse crap anyway. We like to trick ourselves into believing this little lie so we can justify spending this extra money on the pretty things that we want. I will support the dev by buying this fancy hat. But at the very least, if we must suffer the indignity and abuse of these suits constantly trying to manipulate us into giving them even more money for something we have already paid for, we can at least be thankful for the small mercy that, so far, all of the Monster Hunter MTX crap has been stuff that doesn't affect gameplay in even the slightest way. There's no player advantage to spending more on any of it. Nothing that skips grind or boosts XP or buys greater privileges. There's no time gate crap or extra weapons or monsters or characters or quests locked behind paywalls. I mean, outside of the actual large expansions, of course. That's a different animal altogether. And we do already know in Wilds it will be largely following that same established pattern here we've had in the last couple of games. We don't have any public listings for what MTX stuff will be there at or near launch yet. That will probably unlock on launch day itself, but we do know with certainty it is coming, and we know some of what it will be, because we have 3 editions of the game for sale, 2 of which you're spending extra for to prepay for various kinds of DLC. The Deluxe pack that comes with the Deluxe and Premium Deluxe editions will be available on day 1 with the launch of the game, and they already include a Hunter Layered Armor set, Sacred Decorations, a Feline Layered Armor set, a Cosmetic Pendant, emote gestures, extra hairstyles, extra makeup options, extra chat stickers, and additional player nameplate options. That latter one is for the Premium Deluxe only. The Premium Deluxe bonus also includes more Hunter Layered Armor, a bonus Hunter Profile set, and additional in-game music. And you're also prepaying for 2 cosmetic DLC packs to come out later. We don't know exactly what's in these packs yet, only that it'll be things like layered armor and pendants and probably cosmetic items, hair emotes, stickers, something. So, we do know for a fact that the player backlash about selling us layered weapons in Rise, of course, didn't even matter one bit. They don't care. Didn't change anything about their plans for this game. They sold enough of those in Rise and Sunbreak to not care about how pissed off it made a section of their most passionate and engaged players. They don't care how loud you scream, so long as they make money. And these screaming players who, even if they didn't buy this stuff that they were so offended by, also weren't pissed off enough that they'd actually stop playing the game, or not buy the expansions that came along, or the next games also, at least not in any kind of statistically significant number that would threaten shareholders' pockets. Again, it's not about how loudly you scream and how angry you are about this stuff, it's about how much money there is at the end of the day. Even those of us who find the constant flood of this cosmetic MTX crap a little bit distasteful, at least, we still do also need to recognize and acknowledge that this also helps justify the vast amounts of extra, real, proper gameplay content that we continually get. Because without that constant money coming in to demonstrate to the shareholders that, hey, people are loving this game, they're ready to pay for stuff, extra stuff in this game, they probably wouldn't let the developers keep making more content to keep the player base active, to keep us spending money on this DLC crap. Between the frequent regular new event quests that are added for free, which themselves often come with significantly useful in-game rewards of valuable consumables or sellables, also tend to often include cosmetic rewards of their own, like special armor sets and layered sets that we can earn no other way in-game, all new content that was added for free. And over the life of the game, we just get tons of this stuff. In Risebreak alone, there are now pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of event quests that we got over the active lifespan of the game. Over 170 of them, in fact. And that's not even including all the other free bits and pieces that came alongside of that content. 16 pages of it. It's not even remotely an insignificant amount of free, legitimate, game-enhancing content that we got. Then there's what they call the title updates. These are larger content deliveries which not only include new event quests with new rewards and new items and sometimes new armor and stuff, but also include the addition of whole new monsters to the roster, including their new weapons and their new armor, and sometimes even special new arena locations to fight in that other new events can then take place in. Sunbreak alone, that is just Rise's expansion itself, had half a dozen major title updates that delivered entirely new monsters, hell, new Elder Dragons even, new quests, new items, new core game mechanics, whole new types of quests and fight mechanics, and massively expanded existing gameplay features, like when the Hunter-Follower stuff was expanded from being available in just a few special hunts, to almost all of them. Whine all you like about Capcom trying to sell you layered armor and weapons. Please, keep whining about that. It's not going away, but we have to let them know we don't like it, I suppose. But you cannot be out there pretending or imagining that we don't get seriously awesome and completely free after-purchase content updates and a continuous drip of smaller but still interesting and fun new content and new quests to keep us all engaged and having a good time, without having to spend a single extra dollar. We even already know when the first title update is coming for Wilds. Well, in part, anyway, in kind of a loose time frame, but we know it's already coming. And apparently we're getting the first new event quest as soon as a week after release. So yeah, it's hard to feel too hard done by the devs and the publishers when we get all of this stuff, even if it also comes with some of the sleazier DLC stuff. I mean, again, it's not too bad. It's pretty much all cosmetic stuff, and it's a little bit easier to justify, or at least make excuses for. Like I said, it's not going away. We just have to find a way to deal with it in our own ways. And if that is the evil we must suffer, at least we get treated with a pretty decent amount of respect and appreciation in the ways that actually make the game even better over time. The devs are very committed about this. They are passionate about this, as passionate, if not more passionate, than we, the players, are. Obviously care about the game, and they obviously care about making the game as fun as possible for as long as possible for as many of us as possible. Let the suits worry about selling us $2 pairs of pants. The actual devs are the ones who make the content that make the game fun, and we get so much of that for free for so long. It might all be the cheese wrapped around the dog's bitter heartworm medication tablet, but hey, it is still free cheese, isn't it? That's a lovely metaphor. Let's end on that one. Free cheese dog worm medicine metaphor. Thanks for watching. I am Blunty. I'm sure I don't even have to ask you to let me know what you think about DLC and microtransaction stuff in the down below, but I'm going to anyway. Thank you as always to the patrons whose above and beyond support I very much appreciate. And I will catch you next time.